Our first selection is called Legend of the Night. So here we go. So thank you very much. So our second selection, we actually performed at our concert, and the students really liked it a lot. So we're going to play it again tonight. And we were talking about memorizing music a couple of weeks ago. So I've thrown out a challenge. If anyone is going to take to it tonight, to turn our stands around and play from memory. So you may see a few students with their stands turned around, meaning they're playing their piece from memory, which is quite impressive. So, and I figured I would walk the talk and turn my stand around, so to speak, so I'll be from memory as well. So we'll see. I got it. This works out. Watch your music. What kind of music? Okay, so our final selection is titled Wheels of Fury. And this piece actually goes really well with the drum set. It actually has a part for a drum set. So I couldn't bring that tonight, so I'm going to improvise a little bit with a conga. So we'll see if that adds to it. So here is Wheels of Fury.
All right, thank you very much. Students, we're going to give you guys a few minutes to get packed up before we jump into the meeting. So folks, if we start just a couple minutes late, I want to let you guys pack up your instruments. Great job again, everybody. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Goshen Central School District being held on Monday, June 10th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. in the District Administration Building and being live streamed on YouTube. Everyone can join me in the pledge. All right, everybody, we're going to jump around our agenda this evening a little bit. We're just going to bump an item up from point number 8 all the way up to point number 2. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Curtis Coates to introduce our team we have here.
So first of all of our buildings have been working very hard in terms of social and emotional learning, but one building in particular has taken the lead, Goshen Intermediate School, when it comes to our Choose Love program. And not only have they embraced this within the school building, but now have branched out into some wonderful work in the club atmosphere as well. So it's my pleasure to turn the reins over right away to Mrs. Penner, Mr. Impula, to introduce the students that they have with them, to present us all with a presentation of all the hard work that they've been putting into our school throughout the school year. So I'll turn it right over.
Thank you. Am I doing it right?
Hold on, I got to cue that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, hi, good evening. We've been. Where's my present? Here we are. We would like to express our gratitude for the opportunity to present to you guys tonight. My name is Nicole Penner.
My name is Rosemary Rampula.
And we are the advisors of the Choose Love Ambassadors Club. We are incredibly proud of these guys and the accomplishments that our club has achieved this school year. So we wanted to share some of these with you tonight.
So utilizing the foundational principles of the Choose Love formula, we have developed and piloted a new program designed to provide students with a sense of purpose, encourage student voice, and cultivate leadership opportunities. Our goal is to empower students to identify and enact positive change wherever needed.
With that being said, we would like to introduce our Choose Love ambassadors. Sorry, I'm looking.
There we go.
All of our meetings, including in the classroom, we send to our club, pray, forgiveness, or compassion, rest, and or forgiveness. And with this, we use these to keep cool heads and kind minds during whatever and wherever. And because of that, I will be leading you through some nice brave breaths. So it's a little bit tricky for me. So first, keep one hand just on your heart. Keep the other hand on your back. And as you're doing this, we're going to breathe in. Count to 5. Breathe out. Continue to do. While we do this, we're going to think positive thoughts. Keep your mind cool and happy. Breathe in. And breathe out. This day has gone great. I am doing amazing. We and are important.
I got the audio figured out.
first one.
Here, we were trained by Mr. Ampola and Mrs. Penner to be leaders. We played many games and completed leadership activities together. One example is how we should be a leader, not a boss. What's the difference? We talked about different scenarios, giving examples of how we could respond to challenging situations. We learned how to look at the positive. For example, instead of saying, I can't do this, we would say, I will try. Now we are training fourth graders to be leaders like us. The Choose Love ambassadors created and designed their own t-shirts. Some ambassadors submitted designs and we all voted on our favorite one. We combined elements from the different submissions to make our final product, including the cool hashtag Leading with Love. The purpose of the t-shirts were to advertise our club and show how proud we are to be in it. Special thanks to Dr. Wentworth for purchasing the 5th grade shirts and the PTO for purchasing the 4th grade shirts. We split into 4 groups using the Choose Love formula to think of ideas for new passion projects. The idea we thought of for courage is to help everyone feel seen in the school. For gratitude, we thought of ways to show gratitude to our staff. Another idea we thought of for forgiveness is to have a calm space in the school. Lastly, for compassion and action, we thought helping peers with classwork would be a good project. Ultimately, we decided to narrow it down to 2 projects, so it will be more manageable. We have worked very hard this year on our passion projects. We followed specific steps to bring our projects to life. First, we identify our problems in our school and then brainstorm solutions using the 4 ingredients of the Choose Love formula, which became our passion projects. We researched successful programs that were similar to our vision. Our groups communicated and presented to administration, staff members, and PTO groups to get approval, suggestions, and share our vision. Finally, we worked together to complete both the passion projects.
But yeah, we don't let you go away.
To make it happen, we met with Dr. Wentworth at a roundtable discussion and we presented our ideas. We talked about what we did and how we would start to plan our projects, which included these presentations. We realized kids needed opportunities and a place to calm down when emotions come too high. The forgiveness team developed a plan and created a place to help with this problem, which we call the Choose Love Lounge. The Choose Love Lounge is an area in the GIS library where students can go when they need a short break. This area was researched and designed to help students get back into the right set of mind. By helping students calm down, they are more focused to get back to work. The Compassion in Action team developed the peer tutoring program because we thought our students would like extra help with classwork and homework. This program would help to make sure students are all caught up in class and don't feel negative about themselves. Our research showed that peer tutoring programs increase students' responsibility, confidence, empathy for others, and attendance. We named our program the GI Study Buddies. We recruited tutors and advertised for any student that might need assistance with schoolwork. We called these students apprentices. The tutor and apprentice meet every Tuesday morning and have formed a relationship with each other, which helped with social emotional health too. The ambassadors have developed many skills during our time in the club, which help in many everyday life situations. A few skills that stand out include public speaking and thinking outside of the box. Never would we think that we would be standing up here presenting to the School Board of Education, but because of this club, we develop self-confidence. Throughout our passion projects, we dealt with many problems and had to think outside of the box for solutions. As results show how many skills we are proud to have gained through this program. Recently, the fifth grade ambassadors have been splitting into smaller groups to train the next generation to follow our footsteps and make our community a better place. During these meetings, the fifth grade ambassadors taught the fourth grade ambassadors what it means to be a good leader. We used lessons that were taught in the beginning of the year. The students became the teachers. To kick off fourth grade passion projects, we are updating the names of GIS hallways to represent Choose Love and Gladiator language, such as Courage Court. Now I would like to take a moment to talk about our Choose Love pen pals in Wisconsin. The Choose Love ambassador of NY, Stacy Orzo, introduced us so we could connect our Choose Love cities. We thought it was a really fun experience to communicate with kids that live so far away and learn about our similarities and differences. We were each assigned pen pals and have received several letters. Recently, we even met our pen pals virtually. Some of us will continue to write with our pen pals in the future. We believe the Choose Love Ambassador Club has created a ripple effect of positivity. Our impact in our school has been very large. An example of this is through our passion projects. One ripple effect can create a series of other events. Our projects will have and continue to have a positive impact on our gladiator community. So this is a little impact speech that I wrote. The Choose Love Club has changed. I know you're this case. She's just a fifth grader. She's too young to have something change her life. Well, you're wrong. It did. I have an anxiety disorder. These last few years have been challenging. I felt alone and wanted to be homeschooled. Then came fifth grade. I applied to Choose Love ambassadors and I got it. Yay. Then the first meeting came. It was the best. I felt worth something. I felt like I could help someone in the same way Choose Love helped me. Now I feel great. I have awesome friends, and I feel that I'm important, and I feel like I've made a change. This year has changed everything. I love this. It made me feel happy. It made me feel like I could change something. The same way Choose Love ambassadors helped me, and I did, and it was awesome. At the end of every meeting, we would randomly pick one of the active kindness sticks. We would then complete that task throughout the week. It is a way to keep our meetings going all week long.
Can you read the stick out loud?
Sure.
Yeah.
So ask someone about his or her day.
So everyone's job this week is to ask someone about their day.
We have many special thanks. First and foremost, our parents for their unwavering support, the school board and administration for initiating the district implementation of Choose Love. the GIS, PTL, and STEPSA for their outgoing support and purchasing supplies. Our GIS staff for their encouragement and help. Dr. Wentworth and Mrs. Cruz for the supporting our projects. This program, purchasing supplies, and creative ideas were available.
So thank you guys so much. Lily just came around to give you guys one of our Choose Love Movement bracelets, and Camden is coming around. He also has for the parents.
Yeah.
Kindness cards that have an inspirational message on them.
And we thank you from the bottom of our heart for everything that you've done to make this a success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For students, it's not easy to get in front of a crowd and speak. And not only did all of you do an incredible job, but some of the personal stories that you shared showed even more courage. So thank you for being here. It was really wonderful hearing all your hard work, your experiences, and all the great things that you're doing. Well done. Great job.
Thank you.
I can just give a shout out from the back. Everyone else got thanked. These guys, the kids themselves should be thanked for their hard work. And our two staff members, this was a passion project for them. I just had to keep saying yes as they kept coming to me with more and more and more ideas. And then these guys had some amazing ideas. So I just want to give a round of applause for all these people.
So take it out.
Yes, take them out. Take them out. Yes.
You're the pilots. Thank you.
And parents, if you want to take your kids home.
I'll say.
Right, yes, thank you, and thank you again, that was wonderful students. So we're just gonna hold for a quick second here while anybody would like to leave. You are welcome to stay, the meeting gets more exciting. Great job, everybody. Yeah, just for a second. Everybody, I think. Moving on now to our next agenda item. We have privilege of the floor. As a reminder, persons wishing to speak should first be recognized by the president and identify themselves. Any group or organization wishing to address the board must identify a single spokesperson. Comments shall be brief and concise, generally not exceeding 4 minutes in length per speaker, which may be extended at the discretion of the board president. Each privilege of the floor session is not to exceed 32 minutes in length. Speakers may comment on matters related to district business only. The board will not permit in public sessions discussions involving individual district personnel by name or by title or students. Persons wishing to discuss matters involving individual district personnel or students should present their comments and or concerns to the superintendent during regular business hours. All speakers are to conduct themselves in a civil manner. Obscene language, libelous statements, threats of violence, statements advocating racial, religious, or other forms of prejudice will not be tolerated. We have 2 speakers tonight. We have Sarah White.
Good evening, BOA. My name is Sarah White. I stand here tonight to announce that I'm stepping down as president of the Goshen Central School District Special Education PTA, known as SEPSA. I began spearheading SEPSA a year and a half ago. We are approaching the end of our first year as an official New York State Special Education PTA. It really has been an incredible experience that I celebrate alongside the 129 members. It's been a great honor to be a part of this community. Together, we have hosted 8 parent-to-parent support groups, 9 educational workshops with leading experts in the special education profession, 8 calming sensory rooms in each building during school dances, and we hosted 2 months of yoga classes in SAS and GIS. We also received over $3,000 in grant money from Orange County Think Differently. And this coming Saturday, June 15th, we will be having our first public fundraiser at Russian Duck in Chester from noon to 5. We have a bunch of surf bands, raffles, a food truck, and we are looking forward to celebrating our first year and raising more funds for our special needs kids. Initially, I signed up for a 2-year term on the SEPSA board. This was before I had any inkling that my son would plead to be removed from the district to pursue homeschooling. I was quickly removed from receiving emails once my son started homeschooling and relied on following up with the community and district website to keep myself abreast of current events. I have done my best to manage balancing homeschooling while no longer having my finger on the pulse of what was happening in the district. And I cannot afford to shortchange my son while he continues to homeschool for the next 2 years. And I certainly will not compromise SEPSA by no longer being considered a part of the district due to homeschooling. You all deserve to have a president that is in the know by having a child in the district. That is one reason why I know I need to step down prior to my 2-year term. The other reason is more disconcerting. On May 29th, I received a cease and desist email, a warning to stop engaging with the community about a very serious public concern. Although I received a follow-up email stating that there was no finding that I committed or engaged in the accusation that prompted the cease and desist, the damage has been done. In no way do I have any concern or worry about the accusation, as it is rooted in absolute absurdity. A weak attempt to intimidate and silence me, I can only presume. I am not intimidated, and I will not be silenced. I will also not allow what is, in my opinion, targeting behavior towards me that takes away from the district. I can only imagine that this investigation that I was a part of unbeknownst to me took hours of our community's elected BOE seat holders' time and paid hours of legal counsel using our taxpayer dollars in an attempt to threaten me. This is an egregious abuse of power and a financial resources going towards legal counsel that take away from our kids' education and a healthy district environment. So I am removing myself with my head held high, my integrity intact, for the greater good of SEPSA. I assure you, I will remain an active member to the best that I am deemed worthy by the SEPSA community, but I will not be a pawn piece in the intimidation tactics that have landed on myself and others within the district as well, that deter valuable time and resources away from the needs of kids, families, and teachers. I honestly believe that the BOE was strong into sending such a threat my way. And I am sorry to all of you that your time is being abused in this way. You deserve better as well. And I hope that you push back harder for the sake of your own self-preservation so that you may focus your much-needed efforts where they truly belong. So I wrap up with a true heartfelt thank you to the SEPSA community. Every single building administrator has been so supportive. The BOE has been supportive. Parents, families, and teachers, supportive. And the kids I have met along the way will forever live in my heart. This has been a truly awesome experience, and I hope to see you all this Saturday to celebrate what I hope is the first year of many SEPSA celebrations in the Goshen community. I have no doubt that this will continue, growing stronger and better every year, and I'm here for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing. We have one more here. Rika Rosario. Step up.
And the bottom black piece there.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jerica Rosario, and I'm here today to bring your attention to some concerns that have been experienced with the bus garage services in Goshen, where I have been a resident for the past 7 years. As a dedicated parent and a community servant working for Catholic Charities, I'm deeply troubled by the recurring issues that have put my children's safety at risk. Over the past few months, I have encountered several incidents involving the bus drivers and the garage team staff. This includes my youngest child was being dropped off in a dangerous location by the driver, which I only discovered after persistently seeking answers and proving to them with my own camera the danger in the way that they were dropping him off. My oldest son was subjected to a threatening announcement made by a bus driver over the microphone stating that he would be dropped off last on the bus the next day. The driver alleged that my son had given her attitude, but video footage from the bus had shown that he had not engaged in any disrespectful behavior with her prior to getting off the bus. The only reason why my son was made aware is because his friends on the bus informed him as they were disturbed by her behavior as well. The driver went as far as calling my son senor, which sounds clearly as a discriminatory remark. Although an investigation was conducted, the driver made another contact with my son while the investigation was happening, which is unacceptable. All because the bus garage failed to communicate to my son or I about his bus change. The driver was never placed on a hold during the investigation, and the only feedback I received, was that no evidence was found to suggest that the driver posed a threat to my son. The latest incident involved a request I made to the bus garage to return to our stop because due to my son needing to use the restroom, he missed his bus. Despite the sub driver consistently being late over the previous week without any notification or apology, my request was met with a dismissive attitude and a flat refusal, although they have returned in the past on other occasions. This stark contrast in treatment is unacceptable. As parents, we are expected to understand and accommodate when the bus is late. I have tried to address these concerns with the school and the bus garage, as well as the superintendent, but I have been met with dismissive behavior and a lack of empathy. As a concerned parent, I feel that my children's safety is not being prioritized, and I'm tired of being treated as if their well-being means nothing. I believe that the bus garage staff team's behavior is discriminatory and racist. I find it disturbing that the driver's actions were not deemed a threat, despite the clear intimidation and harassment she caused my son. I urge you to please take immediate action to address these issues and ensure that the bus services in Goshen are safe and reliable for our children. Today is me, tomorrow can be all of you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Moving on to
Safety
our
of students is never a
legislative
priority.
update. John Sullivan.
Thank you. Had a meeting last week with Oxbow, it was our annual meeting. Reelected, all of the current officers were reelected to these same positions. It was nice to see. There was one additional position that was filled, the position of secretary, which was filled by Portrait School District. Also had a great presentation from NISBA. We really went over kind of a different lens to look through, relating to people that maybe you're not used to their position, or how we can all just kind of get to a better spot to have more conversation. It was really great. This was a much kind of meeting at Cosmos, so appreciate that. There's food at that one. But no, it was a great meeting, and I'm very grateful for this year being on Oxford. I learned a lot, and thank you for the opportunity.
Right, thank you very much. Keeping in line with going a little bit out of order, then backwards an agenda item. Just a couple of points on the President's report. The Board of Ed would just really like to say good luck to all of our students who are getting ready to graduate. As we move closer to the end of the year and finals and graduations upon us, we just want to say that whatever path you take, wherever it leads you, whether you're working, joining the military, going to school, we truly wish you the best of luck. And congratulations on the forthcoming graduations. Many members of the board have continued to be able to attend some events we've had here in the district. We've had some moving up ceremonies, GIS band performances, Festival of the Arts, even signing days. So there have been a few elements, or rather celebrations, that we've been able to get to. We were very appreciative of that. Thank you for the invites from the admins, and thank you, Maureen, for coordinating that calendar. It really is great when we have that opportunity to get out there and see all the great things the students are doing. Speaking a little bit for myself, also, we don't have children in that building. To be able to get back there, it's really fantastic. Just wanted to also thank community members out there who are listening. There's been lots of feedback and information given to the board verbally via email. And we just wanted to thank you for your understanding. A lot of times that information comes to us and it may be in the purview of the superintendent or of the building administrator. And sometimes folks don't necessarily know that chain of command. So we do thank you for understanding when that stuff comes our way and your patience in getting responses. Lastly, one other item I just wanted to mention. Further down in the meeting, we're going to be going over some policies. Some of these policies will be retired. I did mention this at our last meeting. Many of the policies, all of the policies that are being retired are covered in other sections, in other policies. As we've changed format from the Erie 1 policy to the NISBA policy, there was a major reorganization. Everything that we retire is listed on board docs, can be found online for anybody who's interested to know what's going on. Everything is reviewed over the course of 2 to 3 meetings and then finally adopted. So it's looked at very thoroughly by our NISBA team leads, our admins, and then various people in the district who need to give input, and then obviously by the policy committee and the full board. So any questions about those, you can find all that information online. We just wanted to share that with you and remind you of that as well. That's all I have. President's report. Moving on to our next item. Our board committee reports. I'm going to jump into policy in a moment, but are there any other committees that need to report?
I can just add on the policy part of it, sorry, just to this. One other thing with policies that are being retired, there's also some policies that are already stated in law. So there's some that are being retired only because they're already cemented in law, so there's no sense of repeating law. So that's just one thing that I just wanted.
Yes, thank you for adding that. That's great. All right. Does anybody need any time to review the policies? All right. While we're talking about policy, maybe this is more of a comment issue. Would the board be in agreement with not printing these policies at these meetings anymore, wasting a ton of paper? Everybody seems to be reviewing digitally. That works? Yeah, so we'll take that as an official, no more printing, everything digital. And nobody needs additional time to read through, everyone is caught up? All right, fantastic. So moving through the policies, when we get into the resolutions, there will be a few policies that are adopted and some policies that are retired. I'll read them now, as opposed to later on. The second reading policies that we have on the agenda here are timeout and physical restraints, number 4321.12, timeout and physical restraints, 4321.12 regulations, personnel goals, number 9000, employee medical exams, 9310, family medical leave, number 9520.2, and leave of absence, number 9520.5. The policies that will be retired are employment of relatives of board members, number 6211, certification and qualifications, number 6212, incidental teachings, number 6214, probation and tenure, 6215, disciplining a tenured teacher or certified personnel, 6216, professional staff separation, 6217, temporary personnel, 6220, supplemental school personnel, 6320, theft of services or property, 6450, offense and indemnification of board members and employees, 6540, military leaves of absence, 6552, and employment of retired persons, 6562. Alright, moving on to our next item, our superintendent's report, Dr. Briggs.
Thank you, Mr. Loftus. One non-agenda item that I did want to bring up tonight. So the district has been working with a routing consultant in transportation that's been working through the business office and the transportation center in an effort to try to improve the services that we offer to our students and our families. We are somewhat to the end of that process now, where we're going to be putting together some stakeholder committees to review some of the recommendations that are coming from the independent consultant. That will involve our principals, teachers, other building level staff, and our parents. The principals will be making some recommendations to the business office to put those committees together. We hope to get one meeting in before the end of June and then the other two during July. So pending that all of those are brought together and consensus is brought to making those changes, the bus garage can plan for those in terms of the routing for the new school year. And there's lots of things that we're trying to do to lessen student time on buses, try to improve the distance of our routes, try to bring fewer buses to each school so that we can cut back on traffic. Hopefully, some of those recommendations can help to improve some of the struggles that we have been having. Next on the agenda that I wanted to report on tonight, as the board approved our agreement with Alliance Educational Services, they will be coming to do the first site visit to our district for the beginning of the program analysis. They will be coming this week on June 12th and June 13th to meet with teachers and staff within the building. They'll first be meeting in the intermediate school and in Scotchtown on Wednesday the 12th. And then they will be meeting on Thursday with CJ Hooker and the high school. Schedules have gone out to the staff. Principals have helped make recommendations for those for them to meet with. And again, this is just the first in a multi-layered portion of the process. They will have an opportunity later on in the process to meet with families and community members. They'll allow for additional time for those staff members that they don't get to visit with, either to come back and do another site visit or to do those by phone and remotely. This is just an opportunity to start the process before the end of the school year. Next on the agenda, I wanted to share some good news on funding. So as you get towards the end of a fiscal year, many times the state legislature has money appropriated to them that has not been used elsewhere in the budget. And they're able to carve up that money to different stakeholders within their constituencies. I was notified by Senator Skoufis that we will be receiving $50,000 in bullet aid before the end of this fiscal year. I've already spoken with our district architect, director of facilities, Ms. Carmen. We're going to look to start to replace some of the very aged doors on the perimeter of CJ Hooker. Unfortunately, because that building is on the state historic registry, we have to just be careful in how we do so. There are certain rules that you have to follow to be able to do that. But as much as that as much as that money can cover in that work, it's our intent to move forward and replace those doors. And just to piggyback finally off what Mr. Loftus brought up, it is an exciting end of the year to have been able to attend some of the concerts on behalf of GAS, the moving up ceremonies. I was able to go over to BOCES to attend the National Technical Junior Honor Society, Mr. Panleon, Mr. St. Lawrence. We attended the Stellar Athlete Breakfast, the Outstanding Student Breakfast, and Mr. Panleon was able to travel to Albany with our valedictorian, salutatorian for them to be honored in the state legislature. All of these are just an indicator of the great work that our students do. We wouldn't be able to do it without the hard work of our staff, but it really does put a nice cap on the end of the school year to see all of the accomplishments of our students come to fruition. That's sir, I'll turn it back to you. Thank you.
Next, our Assistant Superintendent for Business Report, Ms. Maria Fontaine.
Thank you and good evening. We're busy finalizing the end of the year in the business office. We're going to be typing up the payroll, the accounts payable, so we can have an estimate of the fund balance for you to consider at the next board meeting to set aside and hopefully the capital reserve and maybe spend some of the other reserves. But that'll be at the next meeting. So for tonight, we have the May financial statements in the board packets. For revenues, we received $6.1 million in the general fund for general aid. We also received $92,000 in interest, or earned that much in interest for the month of May. For expenditures, our expenditures for May were slightly higher. They were $8.2 million, and that's because we had 3 payrolls in the month of May. We're on the 26 pay schedule. Our budget status through the end of May in the general fund, we've spent $69.4 million of the budget, and that equates to 78% of the total budget. Last year at this time, we had spent 76% of the total budget. For revenue, we earned $86.3 million in revenue through May 31st, which is 98% of our expected revenue. And last year, we had earned 96% of our expected revenue at this time.
All right, thank you very much. All right, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. Ashley John. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor? Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain. Thank you. All right. One item here under old business, I need a motion to approve policy updates, second readings, renumbering, renaming, readoptions, and retirements. John, Jen. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, Board of Education approves the second readings, renumbering, renaming, readoption of the policies as provided below. Be it further resolved, Board of Education, based on the recommendation of the district's NISBA policy consultant, retires the policies presented below, as the content of these policies are either combined with other new policies, restatements of law, or hold insignificant policy guidance. Favor? New business. Any motion to approve minutes? Shannon, Scott. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the minutes from the May 22nd, 2024 regular board meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to accept recommendations of Committee of Special Education and Committee on Preschool Special Education. Ashley and Scott. Be resolved that the Board of Education hereby arranges for special education programs and services based upon the recommendations made for preschool and school-age students with disabilities by the Committee on Preschool Special Education, CPSE, and Committee on Special Education, CSE, during the period from March 19th, 2024 through and including June 3rd, 2024, and directs the district to arrange for provisions to set special education program services to such preschool and school-age students with disabilities as recommended during such time period by the CPSA and CSE. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need a motion to approve budgetary transfers. John. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the following budgetary transfers in aggregate over $105,000. Funding costs for the retirement benefits as per GTA and CSEA contracts dated 5/2024 in the amount of $410,000. Funding costs for the roof replacement on the annex building behind CJ Hooker dated 5/22/2024 in the amount of $180,000. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I need a motion to accept donations and authorize an increase to the budget. Shannon. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education accepts the following donations from the Scotchtown Avenue Elementary School PTO. $2,670.14 to support a first grade field trip, $3,392 to support a second grade field trip. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education approves increasing the 2023-2024 budget to support the associated expenditures. Appropriations totaling $6,062.14, revenues totaling $6,062.14. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to approve the individual agreement for special education services with Therapeutic Horizons. Shannon and Ashley. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves entering into individual agreements with Therapeutic Horizons to provide the following services for special education students for the 2024-2025 school year, according to the following. Physical therapy, $120 per hour for in-district service, $150 for 30-minute treatments, $480 per evaluation. Music therapy, $120 per hour of in-district service, $150 for 30 minutes, $480 per evaluation. Certified occupational therapy assistants, $120 per hour. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent to execute the agreements. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve individual agreements for special education services with Orange County Therapy Group. Scott, Billy. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves entering into individual agreements with Orange County Therapy Group to provide the following services for special education students for the 2024-2025 school year, according to the following. Physical therapy, $100 per hour. Speech therapy, speech language, $120 per hour. Occupational therapy, $120 per hour. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent to execute the agreement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to approve the agreement for special education services, certified occupational therapy assistants. Shannon and Brett. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves entering into an agreement with Victoria Walters to provide certified occupational therapy assistant services for special education students for the 2024-2025 school year as follows. $44 per hour, up to 35 hours per week. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent of schools to execute the agreement. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need a motion to approve the agreement for special education services, certified occupational therapy assistants. Shannon and Ashley. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves entering into an agreement with Anne Marie Siganek to provide certified occupational therapy assistant services for special education students for the 2024-2025 school year as follows. $46 per hour, up to 35 hours per week. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the superintendent of schools to execute the agreement. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Need a motion to approve the agreement for special education services, psychiatric evaluations, and consultations. John and Billy. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves entering into an agreement with Dr. Richard Hahn, MD, to provide psychiatric evaluation consultation services for special education students as follows. Hourly consultation rate. School year 24-25, $495 per hour. School year 25-26, $490. Evaluation rates. School year 24-25, $975 per hour. School year 25-26, $975 per hour. For evaluation. Correction on those Those are the evaluation rates. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the Superintendent of Schools to execute the agreement. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Take that. Excuse me one second. Okay, moving on, I need an improvement. I need a motion to approve the agreement for special education services, board certified behavior analyst, board certified assistant behavior analyst services. Brett and Scott. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves entering into an agreement with the Center for Discovery to provide board certified behavior analyst or board certified assistant behavior analyst services for special education students as follows. Hourly consultation rate, school year 24-25, $215 per hour. 25-26 school year, $225 per hour. Evaluation rate, 24-25 school year, $18.45 per evaluation. School year 25-26, $19.40 per evaluation. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the Superintendent of Schools to execute the agreement. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I need a motion to approve the agreement for special education services, audiology services. Ashley? Billy? Be resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves entering into an agreement with Hudson Valley Audiology Center to provide audiology services for special education students for the 2024-2025 school year as follows. $175 for complete hearing evaluation, $750 for central auditory processing evaluation. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the Superintendent of Schools to execute the agreement. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I need a motion to approve the agreement for special education services, speech language services. Billy and Shannon. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves entering into an agreement with Hudson Valley Speech to provide speech language services for special education students for the 2024-2025 school year as follows. $70 per 30-minute in-district treatment, sessions up to 6 hours per day. $78 per 30-minute in-district treatment session up to 3 hours per day. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the Superintendent of Schools to execute the agreements. All those in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve the agreement for special education services board meetings. Brett and Ashley. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves entering into an agreement with the Jewish Child Care Association of New York, JCCA, to provide board and maintenance as mandated per student's IEP, effective for the 2023-2024 school year at a daily rate of $831.46, in accordance with the maximum state aid rate. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the Superintendent of Schools to execute the agreement. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I need a motion to approve the agreement with New York Medical College for internship experience at Goshen Central School District. Billy and Shannon. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves entering into an agreement with the New York Medical College for the Goshen Central School District to provide internship opportunities for students enrolled in the New York Medical College's speech language pathology program. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the Superintendent to execute the agreement. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I need a motion to approve the assignment of title of acting board president for the purpose of signing diploma. John and Ashley. Be it resolved, the Board of Education. Be it resolved, the board president is authorized to delegate his duty to sign student diplomas in the limited instance of permitting board member Brett Wheaton to sign his son's diploma under the title of acting board president. All those in favor? Aye. I need a motion to approve the declaration of obsolete equipment. Shannon and Billy. Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Goshen Central School District, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, that the equipment identified by the district's Director of Information and Technology be declared obsolete and disposed of in a memorandum to the Board of Education dated May 22nd, 2024, and in accordance with Board Policy number 5250, B is hereby. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I need a motion to approve the 2024-2025 board meeting schedule. Discussion? Yes, I think interjecting with a quick discussion here is a good idea.
So I just had a question and for anyone I didn't speak to, I apologize. I spoke to Tom and mentioned it to Brett and Shannon. Just looking at the board ed calendar for next year, and I know July is always a tricky month with everyone. Couple things, first, I know that I'm actually away in July 8th, but when I look at the calendar, we try to hold our meetings on the first and the third Mondays. We do have July 1st and July 15th. 15th would be the first two Monday, or the first and the third. So I know that over time, we often get asked questions on, oh, we have a meeting on Wednesday and Tuesday. Well, sometimes we can't really prevent that. So kind of looking at the schedule and moving forward, I'm seeing that July 1 is the first Monday, and we can have the reorg meeting on July 1st. The other thing that I wanted to point out, we have 5 Tuesdays, obviously a lot of them because of holidays, spring break, we're kind of stuck with those Tuesdays. But one of the ones I did want to point out was the public hearing, which is on May 6th, and that is a Tuesday. And I know that we have to have the public hearing 14 days prior, so we actually can't have it on that Monday, which is May 5th. But knowing that we typically have our meetings on Monday nights for something along the lines of a public hearing, where when we're discussing budgetary items and what budget we're going to adopt, I do think we should make every effort to have that one on a Monday as well. My proposal would be May 12th, which would be the second Monday of the month, but it does make, I believe it's the second Monday. But it would make sense to have it on a Monday as opposed to a Tuesday. So those are the two changes that I would recommend. But I really wanted to open it up for discussion because I did not have a chance to mention that to him.
And thank you for interjecting there as we were flying through the many pages of resolutions here tonight.
You're doing good, sorry.
Comments, concerns, thoughts on the recommendations?
Well, I'm not available July 1st or the 15th, so I'd have to get sworn in again too, so that's the other complication.
That's for this year, right?
That's for July, yeah.
Yes.
I'm
So
available on the 8th, but he's not.
I actually had a note here under the discussion points of the meeting to talk about this year's.
Okay.
Do you have a problem with next year's July 8th? Oh, wait.
This is
It's for the summer.
This is
This summer.
Yeah. So I can do the 8th.
I'm sorry.
Right, no, it's fine. So I guess the question is like, we just need to figure out a way to
Have us
have
both
us
sworn
both
in
sworn in,
and still be able to meet a calendar that works.
yeah.
That's a good one.
So, and then, so we're discussing it.
Kind of makes me sad.
What's up?
So I'm available both days.
So am I.
So I mean, I guess the question is, do we just one meet, does it matter for you, Scott?
It doesn't.
Okay, all right. I hate to make people have 2 meetings. But I don't know how we get around it.
That's a good question. In the event where we need to have someone
I
sworn
think
in.
I think you'll be held over anyway because you're already
Okay,
in the position.
okay,
And I think you could also, but I would need to double check that you can take it on the 1st if you're here. If we had, you're not here the 8th.
I'm not here today.
So you could possibly be done on the 1st, be sworn in.
but I'm not here on the 1st.
I would be here on the first, you would be here on the
Okay, so however we land it, the other person could be sworn in.
Okay.
And I could do the swearing in.
Oh, we don't need a board meeting to do it? Oh, well then it's fine.
I mean, generally, we do, but I
Yeah.
think it could be done otherwise, like I'm not sworn in at the meeting, I'm done on separate, and then
Okay.
then I come around to the,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, we can definitely do that.
You'd be virtually sworn in?
Sign the book.
So the swearing in can happen outside of an official board meeting then? Okay. So to the
And
rest,
technically, they're held over, like if something happened and you needed to have a meeting before the reorg meeting, the person who was there is technically held over. swear in the new person if you.
Everybody here on this side of the table is available the 1st or the 8th.
Both days.
I can be available either day.
Okay.
I agree with Billy's point that we should probably try to keep them on the first Monday if that's the plan. And I appreciate Billy asking me ahead of time. Thanks, Bill.
I was gonna ask you the other day, but you didn't show up.
All right, so, conflict side of the table, do you just want to keep going?
If you wanna keep it with the regular schedule, then keep it on the first, if that's what you guys wanna do.
You guys decide. You're the conflict team. I support either decision. 1st or 8th.
There's only one reasonable answer, and that's rock, paper, scissors.
Please
Do
do
it
it.
on first, that's okay. Do it on the first second.
1st, okay, so we'll adjust that to 1st. That's fine.
Okay.
And your other concern regarding the public hearing? Correct. So let's move on to that one. May 6th,
May 12th is what he was. Monday, right? And that is the second Monday.
Yeah,
Does
I'm
that change
thinking,
the vote? Because that would,
no, it's actually based off of the
It's
vote.
based on.
So the public hearing can't be before 14 days
oh,
of
okay.
the,
Sorry, I thought it had to be 14.
and if it's wrong,
Be with them.
14 days. But I believe that's the reason why we picked the Tuesday. But instead of doing it on a Tuesday, Mondays just make sense because that's our meeting day. But I'm not held to it one way or another, I just wanted to point it out.
No, that's fine for me. Yep.
and you're recommending the 12th.
Correct.
The 12th.
Mhm.
We're within parameters. I don't have any conflict. Everyone else is good.
Good one,
That's
that's fine.
Great. And while we're talking about it, we didn't see any other hits here with holidays or performances. We'll build around that. Alright, good. Alright, any other?
Just in the effort of full transparency, I will not be here for September 3rd, but 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, I won't be here, so. There's not a lot of flexibility.
You're gonna have to do a personal vote for that.
Yeah, happy to join virtually if I need it, but get out of the country.
Okay. Alright, any other big hits we see thus far? No? Okay, great. Alright, so July 1st. Do the 2 adjustments. Yeah, we're alright. Good, back to it. I need a motion to approve the discussed and revised 2024-2025 board meeting schedule. Shannon? Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the revised 2024-2025 board meeting schedule as written. Favor? Okay. You need a motion to adopt the addendum to the investigation findings. Ashley and John, be resolved that the Board of Education hereby adopts the addendum to the findings of investigator Anthony Brock with respect to the complaint filed by employee number 0507-2024B. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve the appointment of Title IX coordinator. Staff, Ashley. Be resolved, the Board of Education hereby appoints Andrea